You see me, I be work, 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 work. You see me?
What is going on, guys? Madden Gives Mobile back with another Madden Mobile video, and today we are going to be talking about sniping in Madden Mobile. So it's almost impossible to make progress in this game and get the players that you want to get without coins. And one of the absolute best ways to make coins in this game is to snipe players. So if you don't know what sniping is, I'm going to give a real quick overview right here. And for all of you who do know, this will just be a quick recap, and you can maybe catch some extra tips I drop if you don't know about them already. So basically what sniping is buying a player right when it drops and right when the auction house refreshes for a lower amount than it would usually go for. So this is a really good technique to buy players and then sell them back to make coins. And one thing you have to watch out for is botters, because they're out there, and even though it's not the greatest thing to do, that people still do it, and there's no way to get around that. So that's a tip I'm going to talk about later, that you really need to be careful about which filters you're using. But basically, for you to understand how sniping really works, you have to understand the mechanics of the auction house. So the game refreshes every morning. I'm in Central Time, so it's at 6 o'clock for me. That'll vary depending on what time zone you're in. But the game refreshes every morning, and right then, right after 6 o'clock is when the first auction house drop is. The auction house will then refresh with new players every 5 minutes. But between these 5 minutes, there's a 1 or 2 second delay between the 5 minutes. So as the day goes on, the time intervals that the new players drop slowly increases. So let's say I wake up at 6 o'clock, first round drops. Then later, when it's 7 o'clock, it won't be right at 7. It'll be more like 7 o'clock in like 15 seconds. So I'm recording this video right now at like 9:30 at night. So instead of dropping at 9:30, the players have more odds of dropping at like 9:31 and a half or 9:32 possibly. So you really got to be wary of that. And what I'd advise for you to do if you really want to get good at figuring out the snipe times is find one clock in your house that you know what time it is, and you can start to get a general idea of what time the clock at your house is compared to when the players drop. And I use this technique to not waste a bunch of time refreshing it while the players aren't dropping. But the first time you get on, you're really going to have to feel it out a little bit and really get a feel for when the round's going to drop. So that's kind of unavoidable. But during this video, I'm going to go over some helpful tips that'll hopefully get you better in sniping, and you can really make some good coins out of this. So my first tip is pick the filters that you know you can get players in. So as I mentioned earlier, there are bots, and basically what bots are downloaded programs that tap the screen so fast that they can snipe a player before you can even hit the search button. So these bots are going to be on the really high filters. So let's say I go into this right here and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll snipe a 94 overall elite for 200 coins. Yeah, that'll work. So there are no players up right now, but if there were players up, when the auction house would drop that player, there would be bots all over that player. So unless you're the luckiest person and the best finger sniper I've ever seen, the odds of you getting that player are almost none. So what I'd advise is, depending on how skilled you are at sniping, how much practice you have, and how confident you are in your sniping abilities, I would go back to picking a filter that you know that you're confident with. So let's say that you're more new to sniping and you just want to try something basic. This is one filter that I'd recommend. I would try gold players for 1,000 coins. Now, gold players will sell. All gold players will sell at the moment this video is recorded for about 1,500 coins, maybe 2,000 if you're lucky. So if you go in and you go to gold players for 1,000 coins and you start sniping, refreshing the filter, whenever that round drops, you have a pretty good chance of getting one of these players, because they're not going to put bots on this server or on this filter, because it's not going to make them a ton of coins. So you have a much better chance of getting these type of players. This type of filter also introduces another concept, which is called a scroll snipe. And basically what a scroll snipe is the round drops, you refresh your thing, and you just scroll and hit a player at the end. So let's just say I wanted that Lamar Houston. I get in, the round refreshes, I scroll over, and boom, I land on Lamar Houston and buy him for 600 coins. So that's 2 tips right there. First one, pick wise filters and ones that you are confident you can win in. And 2, look into scroll sniping if you're looking to spice it up a little bit or have a good idea for a filter. Another thing I'd also recommend is be creative with your filters. There are a lot of customizing options you can put in here. So you can put in positions, you can put in player names, you can put in teams, overalls, what types of players you're looking for. There are all kinds of things you can customize, and you can get really creative with this. I know during the Christmas event, there was a filter that I sniped for the 2 lowest overall ghost players that I made a ton of coins out of, because you don't have to put a full player name in this slot. So let's say I just wanted to put the letters AN, and I wanted it to be Kansas City and Chicago teams, elite players. Then only Kansas City and Chicago team players with the consecutive letters AN in their name will come up. And you can really play around with this. You can also throw in positions. So let's say you don't want that Anthony Sherman to come up. You tap all these and then X out fullback, and he won't come up anymore. See, there's a new Jeremy Langford. So now let's say you don't want that Sean Smith, and you get rid of cornerback. And now you're just left with all these other players. So you can really get creative with those as well. And mess around with those. That's a good way to create new filters that people haven't seen so much, and find a new one that people aren't contending with as much. Another tip I have, which is more of a lesser known tip, I don't know if very many people actually use this, but this is what I use when I snipe, and this is how I snipe, and I feel like it gives me an advantage over a lot of people, and that is, don't use this refresh button right here. This refresh button is slow. As you can see, if I'm tapping this button repeatedly, the second tap always takes a long time to load. What I do is instead of tapping the refresh button, I go into search and I hit search again. So it takes a lot of practice to get where the fingers are, but I feel like it's a lot faster. So if you see the wait time in between for that compared to being able to refresh it every basically second, I feel like it gives me a much better advantage. So then if you combine that with the power to know when the round drops, I feel like it gives you a good advantage over a lot of people when you're sniping, and it'll help you get players a lot better. So if you combine these tips, I would say that you'll become a much better sniper in Madden Mobile, and you'll get a lot more coins like you'd want in this game, and then you can go out and buy some nice players. One more thing I'd like to do before I wrap up this video is just do a quick team showcase. I don't think I've done this on YouTube yet. I put up a picture on Instagram, so if you're not following me on Instagram, go follow me at Madden_GizMobile. I post updates whenever my videos are about to drop, and some occasional pictures releasing new content and such. But this is my offense right here, 98 overall. Pretty dragged down by the 89 Sammy Watkins, but that's because he's got the +2 speed. Here's my defense right here, also at a 98. It is very much improved since that Legend Pack opening video. I did complete the Lawrence Taylor, Deacon Jones, and Charles Woodson sets, and then I went out and bought Leroy Glover. So I got a lot of upgrades after that video. And finally, the special teams is it's not so good. I could really use some upgrades on special teams. I didn't bother to go out and get any of the Team of the Year punters or kickers, and then punt returners. They really need to release a good punt returner in this game. So special teams is really dragging down my overall, but that is my team, and those are my sniping tips for Madden Mobile. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more Madden Mobile content, and comment what you'd like to see in the next video, whether it be tips, a team showcase, maybe just doing some gameplay or such. But just comment what you'd like to see in the next video, and I will see you then.